Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
It's good to see me, isn't it? The long-awaited cinematic adaptation of Wicked, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, came out last month, and honestly, I mostly wanted to make this video just so I could gush about Wicked, because guys, I friggin' adore this movie. As of me recording this, I've already seen it 5 times in theaters, and I'm gonna see it as many times as possible while it's in theaters. In case you didn't know, I also love musical theater, and I've been a fan of Wicked as a musical pretty much since it came out. For years, my mom had Popular as her cell phone ringtone, and so when we were listening to the soundtrack in the car, we would always joke that her phone was ringing. In case you're somehow still unfamiliar with Wicked, it's the untold story of the Witches of Oz. Those, of course, being Glinda the Good and the Wicked Witch of the West, aka Elphaba Throp, and their friendship. Filmed back-to-back, this epic 2-part film adaptation is based on the smash hit Broadway musical with music by Stephen Schwartz, and the original Broadway cast led by Kristen Chenoweth as Glinda and Idina Menzel as Elphaba. Kristen had previously played Sally in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Idina had played Maureen Johnson in Rent, winning both of them Tony Awards for Best Featured Actress in a Musical in their respective years. But originating Glinda and Elphaba was what really made them both household names. At least to people who love Broadway. Kristen would go on to be in That Show That Got Canceled and a million Christmas movies, and Idina played Nancy in one of the very best Disney movies, 2007's Enchanted, and would of course become a household name for everyone for playing Elsa in Frozen, and subsequently having John Travolta get her name wrong.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
My very dear friend, Glom Gazingo.
I deserve that, but you, my darling, my beautiful, my wickedly talented Idina Menzel.
You got it!
Is that right?
Wicked the musical was loosely based on the 1995 book by Gregory Maguire, which, in spite of my current Wicked hyperfixation, I'm probably not gonna read because the book is a lot darker and much more adult than the very family-friendly musical it inspired. I'm talking like NC-17 level stuff, seriously. Do not under any circumstances let young kids read this book. But anyways, The Wizard of Oz obviously needs no introduction, but this is a YouTube video, so I'm gonna introduce it anyways. L. Frank Baum's classic 1900 novel and the first book in his massive 14-book Oz series was adapted to the silver screen in 1925 as a silent film, and then again in 1939 by MGM as a Technicolor musical starring Judy Garland. It's hard to find a movie more iconic than this one. The songs, the transition from black and white to gorgeous, vibrant Technicolor, on-set accidents, toxic makeup, wage disputes. Yeah, Dorothy may have been dreaming, but this movie's production was one hell of a nightmare. Of course, the end result was nothing short of... Of course, the end result was nothing short of a masterpiece, so it's no surprise that it's been referenced and parodied countless times across media. The MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas was even themed to The Wizard of Oz at one point, and there used to be a scene on the Great Movie Ride, as well as an upcoming land at Warner Bros. Movie World, and a former mini land at Universal Japan that basically just had an animal actor show, a carousel, and apparently a really weird theme park production of Wicked. But with all the hype surrounding the Wicked movie, I thought it would be fun to look at the Season 2 Phineas and Ferb episode, The Wizard of Oz. And as any huge fan of Phineas and Ferb will tell you, the real protagonists of the show are Candace and Doofenshmirtz. So it's no surprise that this episode gives us Candace in the role of Dorothy and Doof in the role of Elphaba, or the Wicked Witch of the West. But what's interesting about this is that The Wizard of Oz was a Season 2 episode. Candace had a few encounters with Doof previously, but it's not like later in the show where Phineas, Ferb, and their friends actually know who Doofenshmirtz is. But anyways, the episode actually follows the story of the Wizard of Oz movie pretty closely. The episode opens with Linda telling Candace to quit moping around and have some fun for a change.
I have fun. I'm like the queen of fun. I have fun all day.
I can tell.
Wait, she's wearing her shoes on the bed? Candace, what is wrong with you?
Well, if you're just gonna sit inside today, you should at least do a little reading.
Aw, Mom.
It's one of my favorites.
The Wizard of Oz. Isn't this for babies?
I mean, they were definitely meant to be for kids. Baum's whole goal was to create what was at the time a very contemporary fairy tale. Which again is why it's kind of insane how NC-17 the Wicked book is.
Blah, blah, Dorothy, blah, blah, Kansas. There's a cyclone coming.
Wait a minute, does the movie not exist in this universe? Anyways, Phineas and Ferb plan on washing the house by turning it into that rotor ride I went on at IAPA last year.
Do you guys always wash the house like this?
Sometimes we give it a bath, but the city's using the tub as a reservoir.
And even if they knew Candace wasn't going to join them, in fact, especially if they knew Candace wasn't going to join them, they probably should have given her safety a second thought before they started doing this. Anyways, the house starts spinning faster and faster and Candace passes out. The house lands in Patchkin Land.
Oh, wow. Perry, I don't think we're in Danville anymore.
You're in Patchkin Land. We're Patchkins. And we welcome you because Little Witch Susie was the last. Now she's squished under a house. I'm alright.
The fact that they had to make it known that Susie wasn't dead even though this was a dream is insanely funny.
I have saliva.
Gross.
Okay, they say this again later in the episode, and I'm honestly not sure what it's supposed to be in reference to.
We have saliva.
Anyways, in Candace's dream, Isabella plays the role of Glinda the Good, with Doofenshmirtz playing the Wicked Witch of the West. And apparently he wants the red rubber boots that Susie wore, even though Susie's a little girl. But I guess they're magic and can change sizes. And of course, Isabella zaps them onto Candace's feet for seemingly no reason.
Now my feet are cold.
Give me those boots.
She doesn't have to give you anything. You have no real power in this part of Odd.
Now, you might think that this episode required dodging a lot of copyright, but as Dan Povenmire explained on TikTok,
what, if any, copyright hoops did you have to jump through to make the Phineas and Ferb episode The Wizard of Oz?
Okay, so even though MGM made the movie that we all know and love, The Wizard of Oz, they don't own the copyright to that story. That story is public domain. What they own the copyright to are the things that they added to the movie that were not in the original story. And the most significant of that was the red ruby slippers, which we just made into red rubber boots. And that was solved. I think the other thing was that we couldn't put her in the blue gingham dress, which we weren't going to do anyway because we're going to put her in Candace's outfit. But that's the only thing that we really had to dance around, I think.
So I guess Candace had to have seen the movie at some point because stuff like the red ruby slippers and even the witch being green was created by MGM. And of course, those decisions were made because red and green would look amazing in Technicolor, along with things like the Yellow Brick Road and the Emerald City. MGM still owning the rights to things they created is also why the slippers Nessa Rose wears are silver like in the original book. And why Glinda's bubble dress at the top of the show in Wicked is blue instead of pink.
Check me out as I disappear into an evil cloud of black smoke! Ha ha! You know, I'm just gonna use my bus pass.
Wait a second, was that a reference to Margaret Hamilton getting burnt when a fire stunt went wrong? Anyways, one song and some takeout food later, and Candace is on the way to Bustopolis to Buster Brothers.
I hope there's not going to be a lot of singing in this thing.
Candace does strike me as the kind of person who would complain about not liking musicals only to end up being obsessed with Wicked. Candace meets Baljeet, who's playing the Scarecrow, and as was set up at the beginning of the episode, he wants to be cool.
I want to be cool.
That's not gonna happen.
What are you supposed to be?
I am a nerd crow. I hang in cornfields wedgie style to keep the crows away.
Okay, I haven't owned a pair of overalls since I was 8, but I'm pretty sure that's impossible. What's interesting about this is that Phineas and Ferb don't actually play characters from The Wizard of Oz, and instead, they pop up throughout the story offering a fun alternative to just sticking to the yellow sidewalk like Isabella told her to do.
We built a beautiful horse path through a candy forest and genetically engineered some unicorns to ride.
Do I have a say in this matter?
No, let's go.
Yes, Candace.
Sorry you're gonna miss out on all the fun. I'll race you to Marshmallow Meadow, Ferb. Well, this is fun. It's a little girly for us, isn't it?
Well, it is Candace's dream.
And in typical Phineas and Ferb fashion, we cut to Doof trapping Perry.
Gross! Hey, I know you. You're with that little boot thief, right? Well, I'm going to send my flying squirrels after her. Those tiny little planes, they're cute, but, you know, they don't fly so fast. We got some time.
So, of course, Candace and Baljeet continue on, and she does come across a tin lumberjack, but then finds that Jeremy is a tree and proceeds to flirt with him.
Oh, hi. I couldn't help but notice that you're,
A tree?
attractive.
It's okay. I know I'm a tree.
Do you have a wish?
Do I have a wish?
Aren't you just going to wish to not be a tree?
Shh. Girls like a little mystery.
Candace once again declines Phineas and Ferb's offer of a more fun route.
Ferb and I have built a frozen non-dairy treat sidewalk through an ice cream canyon.
So would that be a sorbet sidewalk? Sorbet walk? And they continue through the terrifying beast bog. Stacy has a random cameo as an owl, and then we get my favorite joke in the episode.
What is that?
Where?
Bear! It looks like a lion.
No, looks like a tiger.
I think it is a bear.
Nope. I'm a combination lion, tiger, and bear.
Oh my.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
I actually really like that they paired up Candace with Buford and Baljeet in this episode, and it's a dynamic we'd see again in a few episodes, but most notably in Phineas and Ferb's Star Wars. Phineas and Ferb show up again, this time offering a bouncy sidewalk.
A blue sidewalk?
A bouncy sidewalk. What do you say, Candace?
I think you already know my answer.
Step it up, freaks.
Yes, Candace.
That one actually sounds like a recipe for broken bones, but whatever. Anyways, the group gets ambushed by the flying squirrels, and Candace gets captured.
Squirrel! Squirrel!
Step right over and watch me put S to the I to the M to the P. If I can't get the boots off of you, I'll have to get you out of the boots. And by that I mean disintegrate you entirely!
Just like Toto, Perry escapes and finds the others.
Gentlemen, we're out to stop Doofenwitch. You want to rescue the girl. I see an opportunity here for some interagency cooperation. Now here's the plan. Wait, why am I a fairy?
Perry, Baljeet, Jeremy, and Buford disguise themselves so they can get inside Doof's castle.
Hi, you've been selected for a free Haunted Castle makeover from Witch's Brew magazine.
Not witch, warlock!
Ooh, what about the dress?
It's a robe!
Perry helps Candace escape, and all of them end up cornered by the guards. Oh, and they do a joke where this one guard at the front comes out in the wrong costume.
Guards!
Ready?
Yep.
Dude. I'm good.
Run for it!
But they only did it twice. It should have been a rule of threes thing.
Yeah, we're kind of expected in Bustopolis. You know, the wizard, great and powerful.
Shut up, you're a tree!
Wait a minute. You can't talk to Jeremy like that.
Put that bucket down, you
Oh, witch!
Oh, you little rat! This outfit's 100% cotton! Oh, it's shrinking! It's shrinking! I have to go change my clothes.
And their escape ends up being super easy, barely an inconvenience. Because it turns out all they have to do is just ask the guards what they want to do, and they launch into, what else? An all-out musical number!
We've been cooped up in this castle, so who cares what people say? We haven't had a chance to dance since we were on Broadway. Hey!
They make it to Bustopolis, where they find out that the wizard is actually Linda.
Boys, can you hand out the gifts while I check on the casserole?
Well, coolness is such a rare and indefinable quality that few people really have it. Most people just wear a pair of these and fake it.
Hey, works for me. Chili cheese.
Yeah, don't oversell it. So, Jeremy Tree, you want to be a real boy instead of a tree,
Well, yeah, but I'll bet you don't have anything in your bag for me.
The problem with you is, you're completely delusional.
I need to keep that in my back pocket at all times as a reaction video.
You've been a real boy all along. You're just wearing a tree costume.
He's right. There's a zipper right back here. Hey, let me get that for you.
I'm free! And I'm in my underwear.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Well, it is Candace's dream.
But of course, the real lesson is for Candace to lighten up and try to have some fun for a change.
All this time, the boys were only trying to show you the fun way to go. Loosen up, sweetheart. Remember to have fun along the way. Summer won't last forever.
And I really like this lesson, even though it's advice we know Candace ignores in future episodes because we have to have a status quo. Of course, it's too late for Candace to be able to have any fun in her dream world, but that doesn't mean she can't have fun in real life.
Oh, there you are, Perry. We just built a self-balancing monster unicycle. It can take us anywhere the fun way. Want to join us?
Are you kidding? When I tell Mom what you guys are up to... Did you say fun?
Often the most fun can be found in your own backyard.
After saying this, they proceed to immediately launch out of the backyard.
Have fun, everybody.
Honestly, it's episodes like this where Phineas and Ferb is at its absolute best. Anytime they get to have fun with a classic story, be it a parody or a full-blown crossover like what they did with Star Wars, you know you're in for a treat. With clever subversions, funny writing, great music, and a strong, genuine love for whatever the original source material is. And with Season 5 coming out this year, I can't wait to see what kind of stuff they do next. Until next time, I'm Chandler Darroche. Yeah, I wanted to put a pink balloon inside the clear one, but it takes too much time and energy to try to do that and actually, like, tie it, so.
Well, my wardrobe, it used to be duller, but now I've got this one splash of color. Look, I got a red rubber boots, and I'm gonna go stepping tonight. Room me! Yes, I can go tip-tapping all over town.
Golly!
I didn't get to finish my song.
The problem with you is you're completely delusional.